Hello and good morning on this second day into the Rave New Year. Rave New Year being part of the human design gene key world of things. Hi, my name is Rainey Ford, and I am here with Mountain Woman Medicine and Nematon, bringing you the transit for the rest of this week. And today is January 22nd, 2025. And yesterday was the official start of the new year in the Rave cosmology. And that starts with gate 41, line 1. Today is 41, line 2. And 41 is a start codon. And so it creates a start point, and from there we move forward into a new kind of cycle for that particular year. Gate 41 is in Aquarius. And so it's that Aquarian energy of the new way of thinking, new technology, new accesses, new ways of relating with each other, and also a little bit of a distancing from how things have been in the previous. Aquarius has a little bit of a cool approach to the whole process. It's fast. It's not this fieriness. It's not terribly moody and emotional. It's much more kind of like quick and airy and to the point of a thing. And so we're going to be sliding into this next year's process from this point on. And every year about this time, funny enough, it comes on the day after the when people change office. There are certain words I won't be using in this video so that it doesn't ping things in the how the system works. So today I want to just give you a brief sense of what this week might be feeling like. We're sitting here on Thursday, right? So there's Thursday, Wednesday. We're sitting here in this process of pensiveness, waiting for the what is next. We are sitting here. We've just moved nodal energy, so our directional aspects that we are being pushed by the energies around us, by the times that we're in, by the social constructs that are around us, right? So this is playing with what are the present archetypes. And so the archetypes that are present that have been in this place of movement and shift is that we've been in this place of self and relationship, Aries and Libra, as a nodal point, and so nodal points are the nodal positionings of certain places of the moon, the north and south poles of the moon. They are not actual planets, they are points in space. Reference points, like being able to, you know how you might bounce a perspective off of a friend, right? And so you kind of like have a verbal whiteboard where you splatter ideas and then you step back and you look at it and you go, how does this work? It's a little bit kind of that energy. And what's happened is recently we have shifted from being in self and relationship to now we are into the depths. We're in Pisces and we're in Virgo. And the Virgo is the piece we're sort of stepping away from. So we're sort of stepping away from the need for perfection, the need for the details to be just so. You know, you're seeing me today talking with you, not with my inner cartography matrix up on the screen. It's here beside me and it's not taking focus. And so that's kind of like my Venus is in Virgo. And so in recognizing, right, this nodal shift of stepping away from that intensity, and let me see how if I can strip away some of the need for precision and details and not in places where it like hurts my bank account or it messes up agreements and negotiations that I have made with something or someone. So being wise with where we allow that need for precision to step away, because what's trying to take focal point right now is the Pisces side of things. And it's asking, you know, where are we deeply in a place of accepting our relationship with being alive, our relationship with beings of love. And this may sound very esoteric. And the fact of the matter is it is. This is Pisces. This is This is the oldest house or the oldest sign in the astrology. It's watery. It's the deepest water. It's the oldest water, the most mature water. It's the ocean waters. It is the waters that flow from the clouds and down into the bottom of the bowels of the earth and then come back up through. It is that whole movement and process, and it also represents those same things in us, the emotions that we dive through, that we process, the ones that pop up unexpectedly that we didn't know were there and that were tied to a dazillion other things and that we don't know until we get into the middle of it. We're like, oh, I'm feeling this thing. Well, I don't know how I feel about feeling this thing. Well, write it out. What's it got to tell you? This is the time of like deep inquiry. That may bring up a lot of doubts. Like, you might find yourself having been most of your life a very emotionally grounded sort of person and not terribly all over the place. And now all of a sudden you're like, I kind of feel all over the place. You're in good company. There's a lot of new levels erupting through us as culturally and thus individually and tribally, we are going through a metamorphosis, and we're going through a hard one right now because Pluto and the sun are cazimi. So what that means is they're right next to each other. And so it's almost like obliterating each other, right? Normally the sun is so bright that it makes it so that the energy of the other kind of gets swallowed up in the sun's energy, except that here we're talking about Pluto. And Pluto is a little bit like the wild god. Go check out, I think it's Steve Judd's YouTube channel where he talks about this poem called The Wild God. And it speaks about that Pluto energy of being the thing that represents our shadows. Now, here's what we get to contend with. Our shadows are not demons and they are not evil things. They are a piece and the part of the process to understanding and recognizing the light, right? Light and dark, they are equals. There is no such thing as more than or less than. When something, like they do impact each other, they do influence each other. Pluto is very much the dark, the depths, the shadows, the underworld. And the sun is the bright and the light. And so it's shining a light on our shadows. And shadows do not like lights being shown on them. And so they can get rather agitated and rather anxious. And so this might feel like an agitated, anxiousy kind of time. And you might find that in your mind because we're also being confronted in this time with Moon and Mercury and Mars having a voice and an input inside of that Sun and Pluto energy. And so the light and the dark that are having this coming to realizations with each other are also being deeply affected by Mars conflict that is currently hashing things out in the 12th house of spirituality and secrets and hidden modalities, and it's unearthing things inside of us. It's bringing things up for us to examine and to see. And it's happening inside of Cancer, which means it's also happening inside of our families. It's happening inside of our places that are meant to be our safe for our heart spaces. And so it's got a lot of foundationally quaking things. And that is a really potent energy for springtime. It's a very similar kind of energy if we can step away just for a moment from the emotional humanity of the experience and step away just to this 5-degree north perspective of from the garden of what it takes for seeds to crack open and send up their first monocot or dicot leaves. It requires the husk of the seed to crack and for it to begin to morph and change shape. There's a delicateness in that process. If I was to take a hammer and try to tap open that seed and crack it open the same way it would do naturally on its own with the right conditions, 99% of the time I would kill the seed. So how we support ourselves and each other during these delicate transformational times feels really important. Going around trying to crack ourselves open with a hammer and or each other is unlikely. I'm going to be bold here. Is unlikely to result in the results that we want. So this there's an art, and I believe that we are being taught that right now through our own emotionality, through the things that are coming up, and the intensity and the higher and higher degrees of asking you to be able to be present in certain circumstances for XYZ, or to be able to shift and to morph, to be able to hold a job space over here, and to hold a spiritual vision over here, and to hold family values over here, and to hold your own spiritual code and calling. Whew, sometimes it can feel like enough to pull you apart. A piece of support in this time might be in figuring out where you can find moments to go really slowly, where you can put your feet on the ground, where you can ground into a moment or a situation or with a person or with yourself. Being able to slow that roll and to be able to be with yourself and the situations that are fastly evolving. So very important. And then as soon as you got yourself in a certain kind of way, and you feel like you've got energy, look to where you can be of support with others. You know, I offer supports with the schoolings and the classes that I offer. And I also support community with herbal medicines and teachings around how to find our wellness in our backyards. What can you do? There's no pressure, there's no demand on how you do it. It might be something as simple as I can go help my next door neighbor. I can go check in with the local fill in the blank and support. Being able to be plugged into a mission during these chaotic times may do an awful lot for helping us find our tribe, connect in places and ways where safety can be created and established. And by safety, I mean sovereign awareness for from everyone. Thank you, JWoww, on Planet JWoww. Because there is a potency when we can come to where am I in my awareness? How can I step into these situations with the highest degree of sovereignty? And how and where can we support each other in that process? Wow. I'll invite you to like this video if it has brought any value into your world, and to subscribe to the channel if you would like to hear more videos. My aim is to be posting a weekly look ahead into the astrology, and I tap into astrology and human design and gene keys and emotional bridges and the I Ching. And I also tap into any number of other things that are around at this moment that are calling to be a part of the process. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a wonderful week.